everybody? IGN Executive Editor of Commerce and Crowd, Senior Airman Seth Macy here to break down all of the biggest announcements, trailers, and news from Gamescom 2021. Did you miss something? I got you covered. This is IGN's coverage of the coverage, presented by USAA Insurance. USAA makes it easy to do business with personalized solutions for any insurance needs. USAA, providing exceptional service for when the unexpected occurs. But now, let's get to the news. Jeff Keighley's opening night live hit us with a dump truck of video game news. But the news started in the pre-show. We got announcements for King of Fighters, 3v3v3 game 9 to 5. That's a lot of numbers, I know. And
guys, is the audio okay?
Bus Simulator 21. We finally got confirmation that yes, the new Saints Row is indeed a reboot, and it looks awesome. The Saints have packed their bags and starting from the bottom as a scrappy up-and-coming gang looking to leave their mark on the world. Yeah, I could go on and on about how the announcement trailer featured a ton of Easter eggs and details, but thankfully, kind folks over at IGN got a chance to sit down with the developers of the game for a comprehensive rewind theater, so don't miss out.
Get the f*** away from my friends.
We got a look at a Halo Infinite multiplayer cinematic that sets the theme for Season 1 of the game when it launches. And, of course, we got an announcement for the game's release date. Yes, finally, December 8th, 2021. So keep those calendars clear, Spartans.
Glad to see me.
Speaking of release date reveals for giant games, Horizon Forbidden West is now releasing on February 18th, 2022. One surprise announcement absolutely no one was expecting was Dokkaebi, an open-world MMO that is all about collecting creatures in an absolutely stunning world. I mean, look at it. I have zero idea of what's going on, but there's character transformations, cool modes of transportation, animals, and joyful animations left and right. This looks like a game to keep an eye on, for sure. Those looking to get their Marvel on, well, guess what? We've got some good news. We've got two new Marvel games.
Yeah, this game looks sick.
The tactical strategy game Marvel's Midnight Sun that looks like it's diving into the supernatural side of the Marvel Universe. And it's from the minds that brought us XCOM, Enemy Unknown, so expect lots of heartbreak from missed attacks you were sure you were going to hit. Another Marvel announcement was Marvel Future Revolution, a mobile game. Lego Star Wars The Skywalker Saga showed its head, and that game looks incredible. Look, I know they're Lego, but come on, those are some good-looking Danish blocks. The game allows you to play through all 9 movies in the Skywalker Saga, which is a lot. That is an objective truth. And despite whatever your feelings are on the movies in the franchise, that's good news. And it wouldn't be a Jeff Keighley show without an extended look at Death Stranding Director's Cut, which showed off a very Metal Gear Solid style level, which I am way into. And of course, more sick ramps, which I am also way into. And that does it for today's coverage of the coverage. What did you think of all the announcements? Let us know in the comments below. And remember, get the right coverage with USAA Insurance. Membership, eligibility, and product restrictions apply and are subject to change. Property and casualty insurance provided by United Services Automobile Association and its affiliate property and casualty insurance companies is available only to persons eligible for P&C group membership. Each company has sole financial responsibility for its own products.
Won't be anything big today. This one's just a chill one.
grab a seat, get comfortable, and prepare yourself. Because Gamescom Studio is back for day 2. Coming up today, we've got brand new, never-before-seen looks at the biggest games from the biggest names. But we didn't forget about the smaller studios. Today, we're getting you up close with some extremely cool new games from independent studios and creators on a show we're calling Awesome Indies. And we're coming to you from LA's historic Venice Beach, plus a live episode of Next Gen Console Watch. No matter where you are on the planet, you're in the right place to celebrate the best in gaming. So grab a seat, get comfortable. Wait, we already said that. Just hang out. Gamescom Studio Live is about to start any second now.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Gamescom Studio, live on IGN. I'm Damon Hatfield, one of the friendly faces you'll be seeing throughout the day, but I'm not alone. I am also joined by Michael Swaim and Kim Horcher.
Thank you so much, Damon. Before we get started, we wanted to let you know about a few ways you can be a part of Gamescom from home. For starters, there's Gamescom Now, a one-stop hub where you'll find all of the content coming out of Gamescom, from trailers and gameplay demos to screenshots and interviews. Plus, you can win goodies and prizes by participating in the Gamescom Epics Quest, and it's all totally free. You can find out more at now.gamescom.global.
And of course, you can engage with other virtual Gamescom attendees around the world across a ton of social platforms: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, and Discord. Just use the hashtag Gamescom2021 to join the conversation, and who knows, maybe we'll share your post on Gamescom Studio.
That sounds great. Now, I know you're dying to see some trailers and gameplay, but really quick, here's what's coming up. At 11:30 a.m. Pacific, you can catch more of Swaim revealing some awesome indie games and a showcase with the self-explanatory title of Awesome Indies. After that, we're kicking off Gamescom Studio, where you can expect tons more trailers, gameplay, and developer interviews on anticipated games like Dying Light 2, Forza Horizon 5, and more. And later on,
Dying
we've got
Light.
a brand new next-gen console watch, where we'll break down all the biggest news around the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S. Now, thank you for waiting patiently. We know you're here to see some video games. Kim, what's next?
Well, Damon, if you've ever wished you could beat up strangers over the internet, now you can, legally, in a brutal medieval PvP experience. This is Blood of Heroes.
Really? I get to beat random strangers off the street in this game? Oh, good.
What forgest thou in gore? Thou feedest fire with pain, blood, and the death. Why keepest thou returnage? Over and over. What bringeth thee here?
Oh, God. So this game I can get to beat random strangers, like kill them on the street. Wow. Oh. The fuck's wrong with the frame rate on this? That's not my stream. That's this stream. Nah, look shit. Nah, that didn't look good at all. That looked really shit.
In Blood of Heroes, players can use magic or brute force to punish their enemies.
Wow.
Even the slightest mistake in this arena's brawler can end in certain death. I mean, come on, the game's name is Blood of Heroes. That kind of sums it up, right? Well, we actually have quite a few more questions. So joining us today are game director Dmitry Voronov and the game's community lead Ulad Leeson. Welcome, guys. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hello, and thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Why have the devs always got like the shittest mics when they're making big games? You know what I mean? Am I the only one who thinks that? Am I seriously the only one? Why have the devs always got the shittest mics? Why don't they have like really good mics if they're making games? I don't know if that's only me, but it pisses me off.
What I mean is we had as a great by all multiplayer games, for example, Rooney or Legendary Blade of Darkness, or game modes at primary single player games.
The fuck is he saying?
Dark Souls. Today, Blood of Heroes is a game about fierce warriors, the heroes of Borderland world, who lived and fight
border.
It features an easy-to-start combat system that revolves around simple combinations of battle moves.
He's defo Russian.
Light and heavy attacks and dodges and so on. The premise is simple. Block the light attack, dodge from the heavy one. These are the basics that players figure out and get used to very quickly. But then goes the very long list of details. Every hero has dozens of nuances to them, personal sets of moves, abilities, counteractions, and so on. Best players have to keep all of them in mind and incorporate into their strategies, find the best moments to defend and to attack in every particular matchup, which makes every battle feel like no other.
Yeah, absolutely. And we are going to get into some of that gameplay, but we're looking at the CGI trailer now, which kind of teases some story beats. So I'm curious if the story is something that will evolve and be built on as you play through the game.
Oh yeah, you totally can expect that. In our opinion, it's next to impossible to construct a believable setting without a good, well-grounded story that lies in the foundation of that setting. We should do have such a story. At the moment, Blood of Heroes has a pretty vast and well-developed lore, and as the game progresses, we plan to revealing it bit by bit, lifting the veil on certain details of our grim world, on its characters and their relationships and so on. We plan on doing so through Blood of Heroes related videos, in-game hints and leaks, and probably even community events and initiatives. Lore is a big part of Blood of Heroes, and we definitely want to share it and get players engaged into it, and revealing its mysteries and cracking its secrets, as well as arguing about its details.
Why are they still on about this?
Yeah, so we're looking at gameplay here. And I actually saw before, we had the characters selecting, a class and weapons. So would you mind giving us a breakdown of some of the different play styles we'll encounter in the game?
Actually, in our case, players choose not weapon. They choose heroes.
Not a weapon.
Heroes are weapon in itself.
What the fuck?
Heroes go a bit beyond these two entities. Each of our heroes has a character-specific weapon and a set of basic characteristics. But in addition to that, two unique abilities, special counteraction, and certain advantages and disadvantages. Trying to balance all of our characters for all the available game modes, we decided to abandon the idea of using the traditional
Gamescom ended yesterday?
Instead, we introduce mixed classes.
No, it goes on for 3 days. I streamed the last one. This is day 2, and then there'll be day 3.
That fits them best, from slow defense-oriented one to quick and aggressive, from stationary and positional to ever-moving and super mobile. From the one looking for that one massive deadly blow.
They've shown some interesting stuff in the first one. This one's just started, so this is the first game. So they said something about Dying Light 2. I'm excited for that. Apparently that's in there.
At the boss killing and surviving. As long as you get on the right side and find the proper approach to them. Or you can just go with the hero whose playstyle fits you the most.
Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like we're in the duel mode here. So can you guys
This
tell me a
looks
little
shit.
bit, will this game mode include kind of game progression, or is it mostly kind of just to spar with your friends and test your build?
As a matter of fact, when open beta goes live, we will have 3 duel-like game modes in Blood of Heroes. The first one is a
We
fighting
do
queue
not
arena
care.
mode. Not exactly a separate mode, but rather a way to sharpen your battle skills while still staying in the lobby. Yes, the bot is waiting for you in the lobby, and you can fight it while looking for a multiplayer game. Our closed beta players mentioned that fighting arena bot is the best way to train one's skills. Say stamina control or parrying. But of course fighting the bots gets boring very quickly.
I've seen the trailers,
Whenever that happens,
and
try going to friend
honestly,
grade.
only
Another duel
Doke
mode
V
that
seems
spawn
legit.
A friend and test your build from your
The
question.
one with the kid
Friendly
skate.
duel
I
is
did
one
not
of
like that
the
one.
best way to try and see how certain actions can work in
No
real
offense,
matches
obviously.
against
That's
real
your opinion. I respect that,
Finally,
but that was the
duel
only
mode
one I
itself,
didn't
an
really
actual game
get.
mode,
I'm very excited for the new COD.
the competitive mode.
What else was
of
in there?
Heroes.
Outlast.
Your teammates skill
That
chart
I got
test
very excited for.
With no teammates to rely on and no excuses.
Yeah,
just
the
you, your opponent, and
excited. I'm very excited
And I
for some of
noticed
the games.
earlier that there were some cosmetic options for the arenas. So are these just cosmetic, or do they affect gameplay as well?
Very much so. Every player has their own home base. We call it personal arena that they can decorate in accordance with their test and show off to their opponents and duels. That's one of our favorite Blood of Heroes features. So some of this decoration
Why are they
are
still on
purely
about
cosmetic,
this? It's been
but even
12 minutes.
they can greatly affect the overall feel of the game. Take weather for instance. Our closed beta players mentioned that fighting under the soft light of crimson sunset is very different from fighting under the grim lighting of nighttime gloom. However, some
There's
decorations
some
are
Pirates of the
meant to
Caribbean.
directly affect the
Don't know, man. I
gameplay.
think
Arena
games
course, for
seems
example,
all the
change
same
gameplay from
these days.
purely face-to-face athletic
Yeah.
display disc to dangerous
I won't lie though, this new
and
COD, this new
unpredictable
COD don't look
tactics
anything
involved,
like COD.
where
I'm gonna be
any
honest, it don't look
awkward,
anything like COD.
poorly calculated move can lead to defeat.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that. So what kind of strategies do you see players employing when it
I'm
comes
just
to
waiting for a
fighting in
Silent
these,
Hill
like, kind
game.
of tighter corridors as opposed to more open spaces in the arena?
Nah, I don't think Doke is original. To be fair, I felt like that. For me, that felt a lot like Pokemon. You could ride bicycles in Pokemon. You can fish in Pokemon. Outlast seems Bioshock.
But in regards
Nah,
to
it
questions,
didn't. Not in my
all depends
opinion.
of particle
Outlast felt
heroes
like
and their
Outlast.
available
It's it's
skills.
basically multiplayer
In Blood
Outlast.
of Heroes,
That's
beaten hits
the,
can
that's
collide
so
with
sick because I played the first two
environment. In order to
Outlasts.
successfully
They were
fight
good.
tight corridors, one has to choose characters that can perform stride, sharp attacks. In this manner, players will not get punished for being negligent with their attacks.
Why are they still on
Consider
about
just one
this?
the part of creation, personal action. The other part, team synergy, is far more interesting. For example, our players have come up with a strategic formation for Brawl that we had never considered ourselves. In this formation, one character uses his characters and abilities specifically in tight corridors to cover his teammates, who, if positioned properly, absolutely destroys the opponent team. In other words, one player sacrifices his health to decoy the opponent's team into a tight corridor, which then turned into a death trap. This is just one example of the strategies you mentioned in the equation. Our players recognized and developed this one, and we really hope that we will have dozens of such examples in the future. It's a very pleasant part when players play not as intended, but as they want.
Not as intended.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, Blood of Heroes sure looks, well, bloody. You can check out the open beta for Blood of Heroes on August 26th on PC. Thank you both so much for joining me today, and remember to stick around on IGN for even more from Gamescom 2021.
That was Blood of Heroes. And if you're still undecided about it, after all that, why not play it for yourself? There's an open beta happening on PC right now. Find out more at bloodofheroes.online. And if you'd like a moment to do that, you're in luck, because Gamescom Studio needs to take a short break. Stick around.
Hi there, I'm Stefan Powell and I cover games for the BBC, especially for BBC Radio 1 Newsbeat and loads of other places across
However,
the BBC.
Somehow would be great, but it would not be announced.
Yeah,
I know. I know it won't be announced.
I got a chance to sit down and interview
the best chance for it being announced is in December this year.
Joshua. There's nowhere else in the world really.
I'm really hoping
you're going to get the most decorated boxing champion sitting down with you for half an hour to talk about his love of video games. And we got in, we talked about Destiny, which was what we was playing at the time. We talked about his love of FIFA and NBA 2K as well. And it was brilliant to see him there with all the fans interacting, chatting about video games, which is great. Also, considering he's a boxer, he's got the world's softest hands. I mean, he must moisturize because they were fantastic. And I can remember the first time I turned up at Gamescom and I was going up one of the elevators with my cameraman, Jonathan. But I can remember him turning to me and just saying, turn around, have a look for a sec. And I turned behind me, and only then did I just realise the magnitude of how significant Gamescom was, how busy it was, how many people were there, because underneath us, as we got to the top of the escalator, and if you've been to Gamescom, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There was just this ocean.
It might still be it, but I don't think
everybody excited to be getting their hands on new games, meeting their mates, seeing new stuff.
Fucking waited so long just for a video that was already sent on Twitter.
Got a place in my heart, and I can't wait to go back one day.
The Asus ROG Zephyrus laptop won the Taiwan Excellence Award thanks to its innovative display, cutting-edge cooling system, and powerful gaming panels, perfect for pro-level esports or content creation. Let's take a closer look.
Taiwan, your partner in excellence.
Taiwanese companies like Asus have developed the ROG Zephyrus Duo 15SE GX551 that offers an innovative ROG ScreenPad Plus secondary display and a cutting-edge cooling system that empowers the latest AMD Ryzen 9
I was in your abandoned stream.
HX
Yeah,
CPU
I remember
and NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3080 GPU, taking Windows 10 gaming to new dimensions. Users can choose between ultra-fast 300 Hz for 3 milliseconds or high-res 4K 120 Hz for 3 milliseconds gaming panels that lets you tailor your system for pro-level esports or content creation.
Taiwan, your partner in excellence.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by Pluto TV, free to watch.
Everybody loves watching a speedrun of their favorite game, but what if you got a chance to peek into the mind of the developers behind those games as they watch their hard work get completely destroyed right in front of them?
What is happening right now?
That's exactly what happens on every episode of Devs React to Speedruns. We invite you to ride along with the developers as they watch, react, and enjoy some of the craziest gameplay by the most skilled speedrunners on the planet.
I've seen the getting
Tune
over
in
it
every Saturday for a brand new episode.
Kirby, Zelda. I don't know what that one was. Bueno. Bug snacks?
From the creators of Plant Turismo, League of Legends, and Minecraft.
I remember this from
released
yesterday.
in 2020.
This showed up
Expansion Pack
yesterday.
2021. Launch soon. Gamescom Forest. Not a game, but a game-changing project. Thousands of trees were donated by the best community in the world because we need oxygen even more than a good Wi-Fi signal. Save a bee, plant a tree. Let's grow. The Gamescom Forest.
From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, Let's Plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook,
What
or
was World War
Snapchat,
II
we've
there?
always got you covered.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by USAA Insurance.
And we're back. Now, as much as I love to imagine that all of you have tuned in for our naturally charming on-camera banter, we know what's up. You're here to see cool new video games.
But on the off chance you are here to see us, you can always say something nice on social media using the hashtag Gamescom 2021, or more likely, you can say something about one of these awesome action games. Let's check out some trailers.
There we go. Konami? Yeah, I know this isn't Silent Hill, but Konami made Silent Hill. So this just no, it's not. It's all the new games coming out, man. It's all the new games. Is this Yu-Gi-Oh? Oh no, man, this looks like Yu-Gi-Oh to me. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I think it's Yu-Gi-Oh as well. Oh, it is Yu-Gi-Oh! I just realised I looked at the top. Konami, yeah. Konami made Silent Hill. More Yu-Gi-Oh! I have Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I have a, what's it called? A White Eyes Blue Dragon? Blue White Eyes Dragon or something. I have, apparently it's really rare, but I didn't even know it. Seems like a Nokia game. Yeah. Blue Eyes White Dragon, that's it. Blue Eyes White Dragon. Yeah, I have one of those. Apparently it's really rare. I didn't even know that. Yeah, well, I like Game Boy games. I like the graphics back then. Brings nostalgia. Yo! Oh, what's this? SNK?
Shatter all expectations.
Oh no. What's this? Are they all gonna be anime? Is this Yakuza? Chris, you know it won't be. Chris, Resident Evil ain't getting revealed today. If Resident Evil's getting revealed today, it'll be tomorrow. Because I know it won't be in there. I know Dying Light 2's in here though, so that's cool. Usually the middle one's like the mediocre games. The first one's good, second one's alright, and then the third one. One's good. Is this Yakuza? I said Yakuza. You just saw leaks online? Doesn't mean it's true. Plus, if it's Capcom, it won't be Resident Evil. I promise you. It will not be Resident Evil. It will be an anime game.
KOF Saga's return for KOF 15!
15? Yeah, I'm getting that as well. That looks sick. I saw it when it got revealed yesterday. Looks amazing.
New visuals and gameplay systems deliver a new level of speed and excitement. Shatter Strike defends against and counters enemy attacks. Max Mode unleashes your offensive potential. Max Mode Quick cancels attacks and extends your combo. Execute rush combos with simple button presses. Thrilling special moves raise the fight to even higher levels of height. The most comprehensive battle system in KOF history is here! Unravel the mysteries of the ongoing KOF saga in story mode. As the spotlight shines on the newly opened KOF tournament, a dormant force awakens. The fates of many intertwine as the Earth heads towards destruction. A climax beyond all expectation awaits you. Rollback netcode empowers fighters to take their skills to the next level. Choose how you want to play with a variety of battle modes. In Draft Versus mode, the battle starts from character selection. Practice your moves in training mode, available online as well. Or put your combo skills to the
They
test
won't.
in
I just
trial
told
mode.
you they won't.
The gallery mode features character artwork
If it's
and
going to be
sound
Capcom,
clips, as well
it's going to
as
be an
special
anime game.
animated short
It's
by
not going to be
world-renowned
Village.
director Masami
It's
Obari.
definitely not going to be Village today.
The
I know
newly
it.
added
It
DJ
won't.
station features over 300 hit SNK
You
songs
tell me
focused
stop,
on the KOF
like,
series.
you know,
Put on your
putting
favorite
high
track while you
expectations
bust
when you're
some
telling
ass.
me all this shit. I know it's not. Not to be mean or anything, but I know it's. I don't want to make it sound as a weird word. Wait, what? Corey X Kenshin. Wait a minute. Apparently Corey Kenshin just uploaded, saying regarding my return. I just got a notification.
Releases February 17th, 2022.
Oh my god.
The deluxe edition comes with a DLC pass that contains 6 future DLC characters. Early purchases include the DLC costume Karo, Mark of the Wolves Terry. Additionally, digital-only purchases include the DLC costume Classic Leona.
I'm gonna watch. We'll watch on stream after this. We'll watch on stream after this stream.
You just saw a trailer for the new Kaiju Brawler Giga Bash here on Gamescom Studio, but we're not hitting the brakes yet. If you're the type of person whose ideal vacation in Mexico involves kicking back at a beachside resort with a fruity drink and a steamy paperback romance novel,
Yeah, I thought
well,
Silent Hill
Forza
was
Horizon 5 might not be your speed.
Probably won't.
But if your dream getaway involves
till next
driving a
year,
McLaren
mostly.
supercar up the side of a
Yeah, I said
volcano
that.
trying to run
I
over
said
as many
Silent Hill won't
pinatas
be
as possible, you're in
revealed.
luck. Then again, it's a constantly
Till what?
evolving game world.
The
so
best
maybe
bet
we'll
of
have
this
steamy
year will be
romance novel
December
mode
when
in the
that
DLC.
comes, that event.
A host can dream.
But I still don't
Anyway,
think it should.
get a load of these cars! Vroom vroom! Huge explosion.
Welcome back to IGN's Gamescom coverage. We are here with Mike Brown, creative director of Forza Horizon 5. And I'm very excited. I hope he's excited because I get to talk about Forza Horizon 5. Mike?
Hey Luke, yes, thank you for having me. Absolutely great to be here, and as always, I am excited to talk about Forza Horizon 5.
That's good, because that's your job.
I do not care.
Now, obviously this isn't the first we've seen of Forza Horizon 5, and we've seen some glimpses of the game in the past. Certainly your announcement was very exciting, and we've seen some other glimpses, cars driving about in Mexico. It looks fabulous, but I feel like, for me, the snapshot of this intro drive is like the most impressed I've been so far, and that's certainly not to say that I've not been impressed so far. You could probably draw the logo on the back of a napkin and just hand it over, and I'll be like, yep, I'm in. But I feel like now, you know, it just looks so remarkable. And then I guess my first question is kind of a sort of a bigger picture question, but what do you think it is about, like, what is it about racing games that makes them so strong coming out of the gate and really being such visual powerhouses whenever new hardware comes into the equation?
I don't know.
And the new COD don't look like COD, but it's okay.
The auto industry,
and I'm very excited for Outlast the Last Trials. I was so surprised that that's shown up yesterday. I'm so hyped for that
they
game.
Both blend creativity, art, engineering, technology in a way to make things that people are just going to love to spend time on. And I think there are crossovers between the way people think about cars and driving and racing and the way people think about video games, and that push for excellence and to play with the very latest technology probably crosses the lines a lot between cars, racing, and gaming. And I feel like that's perhaps a place where that probably leads to that phenomena you see where there does tend to be a really good-looking racing game every time a new console turns up.
Now let's drill down, like we touched on the opening drive itself, obviously. Let's drill down on it now, because the Forza Horizon opening drives are such a They really help distinguish the Horizon games, sort of, I guess, against other racing games.
Looks a lot different. Yeah.
Many of which I love lots of racing games, obviously, but certainly a lot of them are kind of guilty of being kind of like, oh, you're here. Here's the menu. You can hit this and you can start. We'll step back. But the Horizon games are always kind of, I feel like they're ushering you in. They're kind of welcoming you into the game. It's like, here, you're here. Come in. Watch this. Look at this. Look what you can do. You know, you always feel at the center of attention. You know what I mean? How much? I chatted to you in the past. I know they take a lot of work to really get right. It's admirable for something people only ever really play once. How hard are they to get right? And when you turn around to the team and say, you know what, we're going to drop 4 cars out of a plane, Furious 7 style, and they're like, yeah, okay. How hard are they to nail?
It is a really phenomenal challenge, and dropping cars out of planes, straight away people will say, oh, but our world looks really good, but it looks really good from the camera just behind the car. It's not really meant to be viewed from a plane's perspective. And it's just like, well, I think it'd be really exciting though. So let's see how we can achieve that. And the process of it is, as you touched on, we always have a really powerful opening to the game, and we break ourselves into a little bit of a jail there, because each new game we have to say, well, probably the best bit of gameplay we ever made was the Forza Horizon 4 opening drive, and now we need to make something that makes it, or rather beats it in every single way. And that is a bar that we have to keep pushing higher with every single new game, and so it does force us to both creatively and from a tech perspective think big and try and think of the things we can do to just really wow people. The reason we go so big on the initial drive, I think, is it just sets up the stall. It's all the things that you do and see in the initial drive are things that you can do and see later in the game as well. Perhaps not in such an orchestrated way, but all of those things exist in the game, and are experiences that you can and will have if you keep playing. I think that a lot of games,
I'll watch it first. I don't know if I'm going to get it.
Here's the menu, and here's the button to walk, and here's the button to crouch, and they worry too much about players.
I know it's Ether, but
getting baffled
I really
and confused
don't
by
like the
really
Cold War story.
concepts that players will probably be familiar with. Where I think if
Really
you just
fucking
start the car
boring.
already rolling, players will know that they've got to press left to turn left, press
See,
right to turn right.
Cold War ain't hitting
and we
me
obviously
the
built
same way
those
as all the
roads such
others.
that it's fairly
I don't
easy to
just
get
get
around. We make sure
bored
we
of a
pick
map.
cars that are
That don't
reasonably
usually
easy to
happen.
handle, and maybe even do some little handling tweaks
Cold
for
War's
those guys
been
in
doing
particular
that.
if there are any rough edges that we need to
All
smooth
the
out.
maps are so boring to play
But
for me
I do
now.
feel that there's a respect for players in that we just go, right, let's just start with the really exciting stuff. Let's not start with a dry or slow
Not getting
tutorial,
it
but
for
rather
zombies?
let's start at
As I said,
literally
at this point,
for instance, I'm a
zombies
huge fan
right
of
now is
Drive
shit.
3, and it'll always be a sentimental
It's
favorite.
so bad.
But I guess the difference between, say, the opening drive there and the opening drive here is that whereas that one kind of blended.
I'm still going to play
the
Black Ops 3 and all
cars
that. I'm
from
still
one to
playing
another, they were
zombies.
kind of overtaking one another and
Of
jumping
course,
over
I'm
one
not
another.
going
It
to
was all
stop.
kind of in
I'm
that
never
kind
going
of
to stop
one
playing
spot.
zombies.
You're dropping cars
Just
all over the
Cold
map
War
in a
zombies and all
plane,
this shit.
obviously. And it
Fucking
kind of
shit.
speaks to the size of the map that you want to give people these slices of the map and how varied
Two
it
maps
is,
at
but you
launch
can't.
for
You don't want an
zombies and
opening drive that
Chronicles
takes
supposed to
12
release
minutes.
in there.
It's like, oh, we're going to have to.
I mean,
drop in
until
here, we can't have
Chronicles
it
is
drop over here
announced,
because
I'll
it's
get
gonna
it.
take too long. We've got to
If-
drop
no,
in there
until
and plane.
Chronicles
It says,
is
it
announced,
says something
I'm not
about
getting
the
it.
size of the map to me.
Unless the
kind of,
maps are
that
actually
feels deliberate.
decent. If they're
We wanted
decent,
to have
I'll
an
get
initial
it.
drive that.
But if
didn't
they're
have to
not,
sit
they're
down and
not.
say those
And if
words,
someone
but
buys
showed
it
you
for
those
me, they
words.
buy it
So
for
we
me.
start you on the
That's
volcano,
chill.
we give you an incredible vista that
I know
makes
that
the
ain't
world look
happened.
huge. You're actually only looking over a part of the world there because the volcano is kind of central in the map. So it's as you drive around it, there's a kind of a 360 view. But nevertheless, you get a sense of the huge scale of the world. From starting in the volcano, you're in obviously a really volcanic, rocky area. It's in the initial drive, it's snowy and covered in slushy ice. You then, within a couple of minutes, have descended down the volcano and are now in the living desert. We're surrounded by cactuses and sand dunes. I think just in that one example right at the start of the video, we've communicated the kind of scale and diversity, but then the fact that we kind of snap you around the world 3 further times after that and show you a ton of new stuff helps to communicate like those kind of big messages for the game, that it's huge, it's diverse, there's loads to see, there's loads to explore. There's a ton of different cars, there's a ton of different driving experiences. By just cramming all that in, condensed together as much as we can at the start of the game, it really just lets people know what Horizon is about and what kind of differentiates us from other driving games.
Nice. Listen, let's talk about you've previously revealed the
I'm
presence
not
of the
buying it
Mercedes.
yet. I don't want to get fucking disappointed again like Cold War.
In the announcement, and now we've discovered it's on the cover of the game, which is exciting, and that's always kind of it's always kind of a fun thing. What's going to be on the cover of the game, and it's always one of these tip of the spear kind of deals. Like it's the Centenario, that's like it's the 100th birthday of Ferruccio Lamborghini, or it's the Senna, which the McLaren Senna. Like what a car! How did the Mercedes thing come up? Because obviously, like I look at Mercedes from the outside in, and you see them, they're popping up in Car Mechanic Simulator, and they're popping up in Mario Kart. So it feels to me like they must have a similar philosophy when it comes to an appreciation of video games. But yeah,
the trailer's not going to change anything. I hope you know that.
How that's appeared in the game.
Yeah, so
do you remember
just
Black
for
Ops
clarity,
4?
the project one we showed at E3 is
do you
technically
remember
the concept
Black Ops
car,
4?
whereas it's the AMG one.
The trailers were so good.
They're very, very
so good.
AMG probably
it's one of the best trailers I've ever. But they're the best trailer I've ever seen in my life for zombies.
And
that's
what
the
is
shittest maps
the
ever.
real final car? But to answer your question. We obviously had a really good relationship with Mercedes for a long time. I think you touch on they understand the power that video games can have for them, the power that video games can bring to a brand like Mercedes.
I just want old zombies.
Get
I
their
don't
cars
want this
looking great in
fucking
front of
hood and
audiences
everything.
that would otherwise be difficult
Change
for them
everything.
to
I don't want
address.
to have a creative class. I don't want operators.
Now, the
all
AMG
this
one
shit. I want original characters.
So I don't think
no
they're
changing
necessarily
characters. None of that shit.
Seeing it as a
no
marketing
customizing characters.
$2 million
no buying
hypercar on the cover of the
characters.
game. But I do think they understand the profile.
I just
that
want a
gives
full,
to the brand.
just bare bones experience.
While they're not
a bit like
probably gonna
Black
have
Ops
that
2
many
or Black
Horizon
Ops
players going to
1
drop £2 million
zombies.
on,
That's
although
all I want.
hopefully they do.
I know they won't do that.
Mercedes AMG do a ton of really awesome cars that are also in the game that I think AMG understand that if they can make when their brand is associated
and
with
the Easter eggs should be harder. That's pissed me off. Easter eggs are way
really exciting and
too
awesome.
easy.
Then it's a great avenue for them to go and speak to gamers who oftentimes will also be car lovers and can then go out and perhaps maybe purchase themselves a new Mercedes. And I think that the Mercedes, as you touched on McLaren, I think there are a lot of car manufacturers that really understand the mutually beneficial nature of being in a game like Horizon.
Can you discuss a little bit about Advanced Lab and just how much more juicy that is, I guess, in comparison to Super 7, and whether you'd anticipate, and I feel like you will, because every time these sorts of things get unleashed into the world, the public and gamers start to deliver things that certainly I never thought was possible. And I've heard the refrain from developers: they put out all these UGC tools and then they get stuff back and they're like, whoa, how are they doing that? Is that even possible? And then they're constantly surprised by people, when you throw it out to tens of millions of people.
Not a little harder. I want a harder Easter egg. BO3 style.
Barriers and stuff. All of it was rock solid. As soon as the place in place, it's the ramp, but it's otherwise.
And I know it's just going to be Cold War.
So in addition to that, you can now place breakable and smashable assets. So if you need to slow the player down, you can put some crates and stuff across the path, and they can be smashed when they're hit. You can also we saw the bowling pins in E3. There are a lot more assets this time around that you can place and customize. You can tweak the colors on some of them as well, so you can get a bit more creative with what your creations look like. There's just in terms of the building blocks, there is a lot more to work with this time. There's a lot more room for creativity.
BO3 and 4, not 4. That's too hard.
That stuff, though, if you've played Super 7, is it's that with
it's
a bit
not too
more.
hard. It just
it's
takes
the rules
too
of
long.
play is where it gets genuinely interesting. So this, as I mentioned the other day, is it's based on the development tools that we use internally, that I've used a lot as a designer here, and it's not quite a full scripting language. I'd stop short of calling it that, but it's very close. It's you create rule sets where it's, if this happens, then
I don't care.
So when trigger occurs, action.
If they can't do it, then keep trying. That's the whole thing. If it's too easy, you do it first try and then boom. It's not replayable.
A lot of freedom in there.
If you get it hard, it's replayable because you keep on trying to do it. Like Mephistopheles, that shit.
That we use to build the modes that are in the game. There are options that we have that we've not yet given to players.
I do not care if people complain about hard.
That we haven't. This isn't the end for Event Lab. The feature that players get on day one won't be the final form, as it were. And as soon as players are saying, "Hey, it'd be really great if we could do this," then we can just go and add that. We can just go and unlock that. And throughout the Horizon 5 Live program, we're going to be listening to those creators and just responding and unleashing more power to them. Like I say, we're very excited, a little bit nervous, because you can create basically anything with it. So there's real capacity to create modes that make absolutely no sense and just confuse everybody that goes in there. But we have to kind of hope that the curation algorithms that run the back end of the game don't really surface that to a lot of people.
Well, fingers crossed. Mike, I'm terrible with dates, so refresh my memory. When does Horizon 5 come out?
We are straight on the 9th of November. If you purchase the Premium Edition or the Premium Add-ons bundle, then you can get early access on the 5th of November.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's not soon enough, but I'll take it. Mike, thank you for being here. Thank you for chatting Forza Horizon 5 with me.
Yes, thank you very much for having me. An absolute pleasure as always, Luke.
And stick around because
I'm pretty
no doubt
sure
we have
more
plenty
people
covers
asking
coming up.
for
I have
harder
no idea
Easter
what it
eggs.
is,
Almost
but I'm sure
everyone.
It'll be very exciting.
Come on, Dying Light 2, please.
That was Forza Horizon 5 right here on Gamescom Studio.
Can we have Dying Light 2?
Man, those cars sure are pretty. And they move quick. Speaking of which, we need you to sit pretty for another quick break. We'll be back faster than you can say Lamborghini, Maserati, Bugatti. Stick around.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by Pluto TV, free to watch.
From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, Let's Plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered.
16 minutes. Shut the fuck up, robot. I don't care.
In a world with non-stop news about Marvel, DC, Star Wars, you need a show with accurate reporting.
Oh, so excited for
Me,
Spider-Man.
Akeem Lawanson, host of IGN's news show, The Fix Entertainment. Whether it's the latest superhero scoop, film fiasco, or anime announcement, I'll be here covering all
What
the
new
breaking
feature?
movie, TV, and streaming news that matters most to you. Make sure to catch The Fix Entertainment on IGN for your
Vex
fix
have a
of
Venom as
entertainment
well.
news.
I
Let's
don't
drop.
know. I just want it to be old again.
What's up, everyone? Sydney here to bring you a little update about the future of IGN on YouTube. We've been listening to your feedback, and it seems like some of you are more into games, while others are more interested in movies and TV. So we got to thinking about it and decided, why not both? Our main channel will still bring you all the biggest news, reviews, previews, and trailers to keep you up to speed on the most important highlights. But if you only want games content 24/7, head over to IGN Games. Movies and TV, more your thing? Check out IGN Movies and TV. More channels, more of the stuff you love, more IGN.
Movies? We're getting movies? Didn't know that.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by USAA Insurance.
But it's called Gamescom.
It's been another big year for gaming, and Gamescom is proud to present the Gamescom Awards for 2021. Here are the nominees for Best Indie Game.
Let's have a listen.
Dofromantic from Tucana Interactive.
Never heard of it in my life.
Inua from Art
I've heard
France.
about that one.
Lost in Random
And
from
I've heard about
Electronic
that
Arts.
one. I'm gonna go with Lost in Random. Lost in Random looks alright.
And the winner for Best Indie Game is Lost in Random from Electronic Arts.
Yeah, man, I'm happy with that.
This exceedingly unique indie
Looks
takes
like
place
Limbo.
in the Kingdom of Random, where the role of a cursed black dice decides the fate of children when they reach age 12. As Even, you'll embark on an epic quest to rescue your beloved sister Odd. Gameplay takes place in a game board-shaped arena, challenging players to escape from random by repeatedly rolling their new friend Dicey in the hopes of reaching the final square on the board. It's incredibly inventive, and it's this year's winner. To accept the award, here's more from the team behind Lost in Random.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Hi, this is Olof Redmal, creative director and lead writer on Lost in Random, made by Zoink Games in Gothenburg, Sweden. Thank you so much, Gamescom, for the award. Best Indie Game 2021.
Spider-Man 2, oh yeah, I
Thank
thought you
you
meant
so
the
much,
movie.
to
I
the
was
whole
like,
team
no,
of
we're on the
Lost in
third
Random,
one now.
to Klaus Lingelet,
You're on about the
thanking
game.
me to run the project together with Maria Svenningsson, our producer, who just
No, I
worked
reckon
so hard to
Spider-Man
make all the
2
deadlines
will be
and, all the
revealed.
awesome leads. Marcus Ingvarsson on lead design, Nikolaus.
I don't even think it's 2023. I reckon 2024.
Johan Frölander, our art director,
Wait a minute.
Victor Becker, whose soul seeks.
Fuck me, I'll be 19 when it's 2024.
Theo Brynjelsson, Daniel Lindqvist. Thanks. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy the game once it comes out. And take care.
Oh, I hate that.
Love you guys.
The fuck?
Video games let you live out your wildest fantasies, like blowing stuff up with futuristic weaponry, or being friends with a bunch of cyborgs. Or maybe you don't want to be friends with them, maybe you just want to boss them around and tell them to blow stuff up for you with their futuristic cyborg weaponry. Either way, Synced Off Planet involves futuristic weaponry and also cyborgs. How friendly you want to be with the cyborgs is your call. Let's take a look.
Synced Off Planet aims to mix PvE and PvP into one
Oh,
big
I remember
competitive
this
shooter.
last night.
Originally
This
seen at
looks
Gamescom
shit.
2019, the goal is to provide a new spin on survival gameplay that adds crafting and gunplay. Joining me today is Clark Yang, the creative director behind Synced, and Kevin Short, the narrative director. Hello, gentlemen. How are we doing today?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
Great.
Yeah.
So I think it's been a couple years since last we saw Synced Off-Planet. Let's begin by sort of giving us a refresh on what this game is all about.
So Synced Off-Planet is basically this game where you are in this world where everyone's become fascinated by the Morpheus chip, which is in the near future, and everyone's fascinated by this Morpheus chip, which is a brain-computer interface that connects you to all the data that you could possibly want. It's like a smartphone on steroids, but it goes bad when there's an update to it, and the Morpheus chip infects everyone, kills them, and starts taking over their bodies. The nanites that are in the Morpheus chip take over the bodies and transform these people into nanos. And the nanos take over the world by the billions, and that you are left with a pocket of survivors who are desperate to escape these nanos to the only safe place they have, which is off-planet on this space station that we appropriately call the Ark. So now they're trying to get to these shuttles to get away from the nanos. You play as this, you're a survivor as well, but you're a survivor with unique abilities. You are able to sync with these nanos in a way that others can't, and so you kind of become almost like the spear point who helps get these survivors to the shuttles and away to safety.
Wow, okay, so tell me about the mix of PvE and PvP.
Yeah, I think that the cool thing that we wanted to bring to the players is not only the traditional only PvP focused game, but I think that having the gameplay that PvE can provide will offer more tactical choices, and most importantly that in our game the PvE aspect is not only give you a challenge, but at the same time it give you opportunity. What we mean by that is a player can weaponize your enemy. As we see here, once you weaken the enemy, you could turn the enemy into your own nano, and the nano become your companion and fighting alongside with you and provide a huge amount of tactical choices. And that's why I think that in this game, we're talk about a companion-based shooter. This is a new subgenre in the industry, and I think that people will be able to really enjoy the new tactical gameplay that we offer.
Well, it sounds like you've put a lot of thought into the story and the lore and the world building. Is there any sort of campaign to play through?
Yeah, so what we're going to do, we're working, there's no campaign per se. It will work on seasons.
Okay.
So every season you will get, bespoke crafted missions that you'll be able to explore that start telling the story of what's going on in this world. And the big question, I think, for players that we want to encourage them to explore is, who are these, where did these nanos come from? Yes, it looks like an accident, but somebody seemed to be behind it. And then why does the player have these unique abilities? What makes all these players different from the regular survivors? And so we want to feed these stories out through seasonal content, through seasonal crafted missions that you end up getting in this place called the Haven. It's like a central hub for players. It's a forward base that's been, it used to be a craft airship that's been converted into this forward base. And players can go there, find specialists who, with their own unique personalities, who will give them special missions. And that's where you go to plan these missions and also get more crafted stuff that tells you the story of what's going on in this world.
And is this all taking place on Earth, or is it an Earth-like planet?
This is definitely on Earth. So okay. This is the near future. This is after we went from smartphones to BCIs, and it's all gone to hell. So it's an Earth that we don't want.
I see. Can you explain a little bit more about the sync mechanic, how it works, and what are the different options available in terms of what you can sync with?
Yeah. So in the game, we provided 4 basic type of sync nano, which are crushers, suppressor, guardian, and seer. So in the game, player will be able to find the core chip, and then once you do have the core chip at hand, you will be able to weaken the enemy and then put the data at your hand and then override the data on the enemy nano. That's the whole process of weaponize your enemy and then become your companion. And once you do have your companion nano fight with you, you will be able to give a precise location for the nano to defend or civilian, or you can just target any enemies that in front of you that your sync nano will provide a huge help and support for your gameplay. So imagine that every time you play this game, you have to think about which type of nano really fit your style, and as well as your teammates nano, right? And for example, if you have a guardian that can provide a shield in front of you, then the suppressor could be a really good add-on from your teammate point of view. Then the suppressor will be able to pin people down, and then you can have the final shot.
So again, Synced was originally seen at Gamescom 2019. What was the biggest point of feedback from that Gamescom 2019 reveal, and what changes have you been working on since then?
Yeah, it's a very good question. I think that 2 years ago when we revealed this title, everyone is very excited about this idea of synced, especially that you control the enemy and then fight alongside with you. This is the highlight for the show. However, there are also other things that we should dig deeper and then provide even more options and more meaningful choices for the player. And that's what we've been working on for the last 2 years, and as well as some nano design. What we see here, all the nanos at this moment looks totally different compared to 2 years ago. It's a very hard choice for us, but I think at the end to design the nano is the way it is right now gave us the best option and the potential for the future update, because all the enemies are based on the nanotechnology, and then the nanotechnology can give us a lot of possibilities of creating different type and abilities during the gameplay and later on the live updates.
Gameplay-wise, it kind of gives me a vibe of a mix between PUBG and Escape from Tarkov. How does a typical game play out, assuming you win a match?
Yeah, so in the game there will be 3 main modes. The first one, we call it off-planet. It's a very traditional and classic game mode that all the players working with their teammate and fight for the single shuttle escape Earth. And so in that mode, there's no respawn, and you have to rely on your tactical choice and all the challenges in the game. The second mode is a score-based mode that there will be 3 rounds of shuttle coming in. The first round we're only having 3, and the second round will be 2, and the final round will be only 1. The twist here is in this mode, people could respawn, can redeploy new survivors into the battleground. And so it's not that if you die, that's it. No, you have more choices to play in that mode, as well as we practice a lot of random events in the game that will always help player to gather new stuff and find a edge, compared to the components. The last mode, what we're seeing is a PvE focused mode called the Nano Rise. In this game, we're trying to bring in some roguelite elements in the gameplay, and the challenge is really high. And how to work with your Sync Nano in this environment is crucial. And there will be more different type of enemy nano in there. And players' goal is just to beat all the levels and try to win the boss fight and then every mode we're having provides totally different feeling and vibe. And I think that it's not simply a battle royale type of game, or it's not simply a Tarkov type of gameplay. So we're trying to have our synced mechanic works across all the modes that can give the best experience possible.
Roguelike is a magic word for me. I love myself a good roguelike. Yeah. I see a lot of gunplay. What sort of weapons and abilities will you have as a player?
Yeah, we wanna just lower the bar for understanding the weapon system in our game. So most of the weapon will be based on the very familiar type that people already saw in other type of shooter games. Like the SMG, LMG, assault rifle, all that. And however, we did a lot of very fine tuning of each weapon. So we want every weapon to feel different and have different circumstances and scenarios to use. And most importantly is how to use your different weapon type along with your nano. Another example here is, the sniper guy, have a very long range sniper. The best sync nano to use is Seer, because the Seer can scan the battleground and then mark the enemy for you, even you don't physically see them yet. Then, in this case, imagine that you're really hidden somewhere, and then your Seer provides you the information on the battleground, and you can be the sharpshooter that can really maximize the output. And another example is using Crusher. Crusher is really built for destruction and always push the enemy out of the place. So is the best tactic to flank the enemy and the guy behind, and then if you have a shotgun, bam bam, is a very effective tactic there.
Very cool. Well, have you revealed platforms or release window for Synced Off-Planet yet?
We're aiming to have the game into early access next year, and we'll be focused on PC first. And what's important for us is really have the community built while we are developing the game, and listen to what people like and what they don't like, and then refine the game along the way. And of course, console is another thing we're looking into, and we're gonna do our best to bring the best gameplay experience possible to the players all over the world.
Very cool. The game's looking very exciting. Thank you so much for stopping by the
At this
Gamescom.
point, I just want to chat. How's everyone doing?
But be sure to stay tuned as we'll be back with
This is
more
very boring.
interviews and even more gaming coverage right here
Oh
on
wait,
IGN
it
Live
might be
at
Dying Light
Gamescom
2 now.
2021.
Huh?
My name's Rory Powers, and I work at RKG, but I used to work at IGN as a video producer. Now, my favorite Gamescom memory has to be from 2015. I was on the show floor shooting a bunch of amazing cosplay in the convention halls, and we were halfway through filming this Spider-Man cosplayer when out of the corner of my eyes I see this figure and I hear this cackle. So I pan the camera over and there is someone cosplaying as the Green Goblin. Now these two cosplayers had never met each other before, but what ensued was the most incredible improvised cosplay fight scene you have ever witnessed. Only at Gamescom is that possible.
His name is Rory Powers. Sounds like a nonce. Hey man, I agree with
Game
you.
Bonfire is the leading Chinese gaming outlet dedicated to bringing up-to-the-minute news to Chinese gamers all around the world. Let's find out how.
Oh, I have one of
篝火
those.
营地是中国领先的游戏
Don't
媒体，
fucking
创
do
立于
that. Don't
2018
throw it
年，
up.
致力于为全世界的中文游戏玩家提供专业、精准、迅速
Yeah, man, I
的资讯
agree.
情报。篝火营地立足于中国，与多家国际一流游戏媒体同行打
Yeah,
造
man, I agree with this
20
guy.
年的关系，
Honestly,
源源不断地
I
将
agree.
最新鲜的游戏资讯第一时间带给全球的游戏玩家。自成立以来，
Do you
篝火
guys
营
agree
地
with
在
him?
全网的内容浏览量已经超过5亿，
I
服务了
agree.
数百万的读者和玩家。我们的愿景是做游戏文化传播者
Actually, you。can see it on the street.
您可以在全球各大手机应用市场下载篝火营地
Yeah,
APP，
you
或者
do
访
see
问
fights.
www.gamebonfire.com 来加入游戏传
I
播者。
agree with this guy, honestly. He's speaking straight facts. Come on, Dying Light 2, please. I'd like it now.
The first trailer for Marvel's
Oh.
Midnight Suns, the new tactical
Oh, this looks
RPG
sick,
from
this
Firaxis,
game.
the
I'm
studio
very
that brought
excited
us
for this
XCOM
game.
Enemy Unknown just dropped, and based off of the game's title and the trailer, Marvel's Midnight Suns is set in the darker side of the Marvel Universe, looking to put you face to face against demonic forces of the underworld as you team up and live among the Midnight Suns, Earth's last line of defense. Presented by Marvel's Midnight Suns. Joining me today is creative director at Firaxis, Jake Solomon,
looks
who will
like a
hopefully
Lego
get me
man.
up to speed
I'm
on
sorry.
when and where in the vast Marvel universe this takes place, what's at stake, and most importantly, who is involved. Jake, set the stage for us. What is happening in this game? Does Midnight Suns exist in the same universe as any other part of Marvel? Just give me the whole spiel. What's going on?
The Marvel universe is amazing. Obviously, it's been a dream to work there, but the challenge is, as you can imagine, and as you kind of alluded to, finding your own corner of that universe. And so for us, we drifted to the darker side of Marvel, the supernatural.
Who wants
side
me
of
to
Marvel.
play Power
So the
Wash
stakes in this game
Simulator
are all
after this?
about the supernatural, and this features one of my favorite comic book runs, which comes from the very early 90s, The Rise of the Midnight Suns, which is set in that sort of very dark supernatural part of the Marvel universe. So that's kind of exciting for us, is that we're going to be telling a story that people haven't heard for a very long time, with characters that are probably new to a lot of players.
So you've got the better part of a century worth
I
of
saw
Marvel
Ghost
lore to pull
Riders in
from.
this.
What titles and runs did you look to most for inspiration?
Obviously,
That was what I was
we
most
feature both,
interested in when I saw
really,
the first
really
trailer.
popular characters that a lot of players are going to know. So you've got your characters like Iron Man and Captain America and Captain Marvel and Wolverine, but we also really wanted to feature characters that, for us, we wanted to introduce players to them. And so you know, one of the very first comic book events that I ever read was called Inferno. This was the late 80s. Again, another like classic supernatural story in the Marvel universe.
Harrison, let's go.
And that features
Yeah, I will if
this
you want.
character named Magic. And she's this awesome,
I've got to run for
powerful
this.
new mutant who grew up in this hell dimension
3,
called
2,
Limbo,
1,
so that
go.
features very heavily. Also, I think that The Runaways is one of the best books in Marvel history. So we have Nico from The Runaways as well. And so that's, again, another character that some players may not know, and that's what we're excited about, as well as Robbie Reyes, Ghost Rider, and I can't believe I'm saying this. Do people not know who Blade is? Is that possible? I mean, am I that old? But I don't know. Is Blade like a deep cut at this point?
Everybody knows Blade. He's the guy who said the thing about ice skating uphill. He's
right.
a classic.
Yes, that's right, which I won't repeat here.
No, this is a family place. Now, speaking of which, can you tell us a little bit about what it's been like working with Marvel Games and sort of how, Firaxis and Marvel got together and what that relationship has been like?
Working with Marvel is a dream, but it's just not something I'd ever considered. And what happened was that Marvel actually reached out to us because a number of their games team were fans of XCOM. The very first call I had with the Marvel Games team, one of their executive vice presidents of Marvel was on the call, and he had very specific feedback for me about the finale of the XCOM mission, and then a bunch of other people chimed in and they had all this their different experiences they wanted to share, and so that was really exciting for me because that meant they knew what kind of games that we make. And so we thought if we can combine our gameplay experience with the narrative of all these characters and their stories that millions of people around the world love, then it's a match made in heaven.
Midnight Suns has the first customizable original character in the form of Hunter. Can you tell us a little bit about who we are playing as and how they fit into the Marvel Universe?
It was key for us to tell a new story. We wanted to go to a place that we think a lot of players haven't seen before in the Marvel Universe. And a big part of that for us was not telling a story about any particular character. You're not Iron Man in this game, you're not Blade. You can control those characters, but instead we wanted you to put yourself into the game, and we did that
Iron
by
Man's
creating
dead.
the Hunter,
How is he in
which
this?
is an all-new superhero that we designed with Marvel, which is completely customizable in terms of how they look, in terms of how they play, which lets the player feel like they're in the story, and lets them feel like they're experiencing this kind of firsthand. And so they are the child of this ultimate evil named Lilith, the mother of demons. They're an old character, but for a lot of players it's going to be new. And so we have this relationship between this ultimate evil and the Hunter, which is this new hero we've created, which kind of lets the player feel like they're in the story themselves.
Was there a specific character in Midnight Suns who you can talk about right now, aside from Blade, who you're most excited to sort of flesh out in your own space?
The thing that we're excited about is
Cody, don't worry. It was a blue top man talking about
alongside the heroes, and a lot of games have done that really well.
But
from the
join
very beginning, we were more excited
Marvel.
about this fantasy of, well, what's it like to live alongside the heroes? When you read the comics, when you watch the movies, I think that that's as exciting to see how they interact with each other, how you could interact with them, choosing who you want to build relationships with. We have this really large cast of characters, 12 heroes in addition to the Hunter. So the player has to make choices about, okay, which heroes do I build relationships with? And of course you get all kinds of gameplay benefits and cosmetic benefits. But it's really very narrative where you say, okay, I'm going to be best friends with these characters. And so for me, I really like Magic. I think that the way that we're doing some characters like Doctor Strange is very exciting, and so it'll be up to different players, like what characters you love that and then you get drawn into these new characters that we're introducing, like Robbie Reyes, the new Ghost Rider, Nico, Magic.
It is Ghost Rider.
It's just fun.
I knew it.
Play, you kind of find yourself drawn to different characters for different reasons.
Awesome. So whether you're a fan of the comics or the fan of the movies, this is a new, untested territory entirely, and there's some surprises waiting in store. Now, you mentioned Runaways, you mentioned Inferno. Are there any other Marvel comics that fans should maybe
I'm
read
excited
to get up to speed with Midnight Suns?
Well, there is the
He looks like Andrew Garfield,
I
the
mean,
guy on the right. No, not right, left.
It's dark and it is heavy and it is all 90s. The original run, 1991, which Max, you were a child for. I'm not even sure you were born then. There was lots of flowing hair. There were lots of motorcycles. So I would recommend.
Magic is not real. It's an illusion. You twat.
Then read that original Spirits of Vengeance run and Ghost Rider and the Rise of the Midnight Suns. See, I've even got it here. I have mine are like boarded and packed, but yes, we have the classic Spirits of Vengeance Ghost Rider run from 1991. So if you're really deep, you can go into that one. But I'm just saying, you know, beware. There's some dark, weird stuff in there.
Awesome. That's music to my ears. Jake, thank you so much for joining me. Marvel's Midnight Suns is scheduled to release in March 2022 across PC, PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch. Till then, make mine Marvel, and for all things Marvel, be it games, comics, movies,
This is
and
Cody
so on,
when
you
he's
are already in the right
older
place.
talking about
IGN.
game.
Enough said.
Hey man, that'd be a great job.
For over 3 years, fans of zombies, parkour, apocalyptic dystopias,
Dying Light!
games where your decisions have real
Dying Light,
have
here we
been,
go.
if you'll forgive the pun, dying to get their hands on Dying Light 2. Finally,
Dying Light.
holiday release, and to hold
Come
you
on.
Until then, here is a full breakdown with tons of brand new info.
Finally.
Take a look.
Hi everyone, my name is Timon Smektawa and I'm the lead game designer at Techland. Welcome to the Gamescom edition of Dying to Know. You can watch the previous episodes of the show on our YouTube channel. They reveal many details about the game and showcase unique gameplay videos, so if you still haven't seen them, you know what to do. Last time we showed you the monsters, our special infected enemies, so today let's talk about how to fight them. And not only them, but also the other big threats you will encounter in the world of Dying Light 2, which are us, humans. Unfortunately, humans tend to be the most cruel and brutal species out there, especially during an apocalypse.
Is he Russian? He looks it. He looks like the Russian version of Jason Statham.
Let's start with the basics. How do you move around the city? If you watched our previous episodes, you know that a large portion of the city's population has changed into monsters, roaming the streets. That's why it's extremely difficult to move around, unless you can run, climb, roll, swing and jump, as the best option to explore the world of Dying Light 2 is parkour. Let's talk about it with my first guest, Kacper Kowalczuk, senior game programmer.
I'm very excited for this game. I enjoyed the first one.
You are in a team directly responsible for creating parkour movement in Dying Light 2. So, what can you tell the Gamescom viewers about it?
Well, we're really excited for the players to see what we've prepared for them.
Why are they all
will
Russian?
Finally feel this amazing freedom of movement in a city built to support parkour from the ground up. Even the highest building is not an obstacle anymore.
You walk,
but a
that's how you
parkour
move.
tool
Yeah,
to
yeah.
help you get higher. Even those familiar with Dying Light 1 will be pleasantly surprised, because we took all that we learned from parkour in DL1 and built everything from scratch.
Oh.
It's a more challenging way than to simply upgrade it, but it's more rewarding as well.
Okay, but from my perspective, and I think your perspective as well, creating a realistic movement in an FPP game is very, very difficult. And we have spent a lot of time and resources to make it physical and exciting at the same time. So, how do you feel about it, Kacper?
We really wanted to improve players' perception of their avatar's body and of what happens to it during parkour. The animators had their hands full, but it definitely makes you feel like a real traceur, which is a person who professionally does parkour. It's all thanks to dozens or even hundreds of new animations. It's especially visible with ropes, pipelines, monkey bars, etc. With the increased number of animations, players can almost physically feel each movement while climbing the buildings. It gives them a realistic parkour experience and is also surprisingly simple to master, even for beginners. The city allows players to traverse it effectively as soon as they get there, and their mobility increases more as they learn new skills. There comes a time when players start noticing synergies between movements, and that's when the real fun begins. You literally feel like flowing through the environment. They also find out that the city itself helps them with parkouring, and what might have seemed an obstacle at the beginning becomes an asset once they learn how to use it.
Okay, but parkour can be more than just a way to traverse the city. In Dying Light 2, it's quite handy in combat too.
Yes, for example, I could stun my opponent with a powerful blow, then use elements of parkour to rebound from him and kick another one. He's also stunned now, so I can rebound from him too. By combining parkour and combat, a skillful player can wreak havoc on both humans and the infected without even touching the ground.
Looks good.
That sounds amazing. So, Kacper, thank you for joining us, and thank you for explaining us how the game's parkour system works. And I believe you, the same as I, just can't wait for people to see it in action themselves.
Definitely.
So thank you once again, take care.
I love Dying Light 1, so...
Let's talk more about how you can use parkour not only for traversal, but also for combat. And speaking of combat, my next guest is Matt Courtois, lead technical gameplay animator. Matt, ça va?
Ça va, merci.
Thanks for joining us.
He's French.
I would like to start with something that was quite difficult for us, if you remember, at the very beginning of the project. How to present melee combat in first-person perspective.
Oh, I remember. You actually just said, creating satisfying melee combat from a first-person perspective, that's a real
Or is
challenge.
he?
That's why we spent
I'm really
many
confused.
weeks iterating it, improving it, until we got the right feeling. We feel we have created something special, and we're very excited to discover how players will react to it.
So, what do you think will excite them the most?
I guess
The game.
you know we've worked very hard for our combat to be visceral. So we
So
created
not the
many
game.
exciting
Oh.
and immersive elements, such as what we call progressive hit reactions. So it's basically consecutive hits on enemies will enhance their reactions. They will react differently based on the weapon category you're using, based on the body parts you're targeting. So you can stun them, you can trip them over, you can cut off their limbs, which might sound pretty terrible.
But it's also cool, right?
And it's also very useful and you know, glory. The direction
Glory.
of your swings also matters, and so
Hey,
does your
I'm
position
happy with that.
relative to theirs. We worked also with the professional stuntmen to record more special, more spectacular hit reactions. That was mostly for parkour combat, but also generally speaking to highlight players' power and to convey as much satisfaction as possible.
And I think it's safe to say that immersion is very important in the world of Dying Light 2. It's post-apocalyptic.
I'm sorry,
so
Mum,
it's
but
very
this food
brutal,
tastes like
it's very
shit.
demanding. So
Ah.
to survive, you really need to step up your game. So I don't know, maybe you have some tips for the players. Maybe you think there's something they should focus on.
My best advice would be to be creative in combat. So like you just mentioned with Casper, in Dying Light 2, parkour
Yeah, that's
and
what I
combat
thought.
are very connected. They're even intertwined, right? Allowing players to combine one with the other very easily, very smoothly. So technically, you can use the environment in combat, of course, as in kicking an enemy right after a wall run, or even you can use the enemy to get somewhere you like. So you would just vault over them, trigger a double jump to get higher, maybe somewhere you had trouble reaching before. But if you want, you can also just land back down, trigger a
Wow,
very
your mum is
powerful
going to
attack.
kill you now,
It's
you
completely
said
up to
that.
you. Your options are almost endless. That's what we call creative combat. And to me, that would be the best weapon.
Okay, so that's an awesome hint, and thank you for that, and thank you for sharing all of the details, and thank you for joining us. We have used over 3,000 animations of jumps, grips, and other parkour moves to create a few dozen skills that can be mixed and combined, so every player can find her or his own way to survive in the city. In a minute, you will see that in our new gameplay trailer. But first, today on techlandgg.com we have another gift for you. For those who are already exploring the Dying Light universe in the first game, we have a unique item, the Brilliant Hammer, a weapon from Dying Light 2, which you can use in Dying Light 1.
Oh, cool.
Go to techlandgg and grab it. And if you don't feel like fighting right now, you can get some free posters, wallpapers, or even Aiden's special outfit.
Free?
As you can see, it's worth to visit techlandgg.com, but not at this very moment, because now it's time to watch our new gameplay trailer. Here it is.
Yes, gameplay.
Sometimes I wonder what this city looked like
Come
before
on.
all this. Probably like many others. People had their ambitions, plans, lives. Now it's all gone. The virus started it, but it was the people who made the world the way it is. This city, Villador. They tell me they had a vision. They had hope. But soon, one vision broke
It's like
into
Corona.
many different ones. Instead of fighting together, people stood against each other. War broke out.
Was it a little bird? Met a broken leg?
MJ's Mirage. That's what I'm thinking, man. He sounds like.
Now the city is falling.
Each time we strike down an enemy, we absorb their strength.
But I can't let that happen. At least, not yet. I need the secrets the city holds.
Oh, fuck. Hey! Still some rats here.
I have to pick a side.
The Bazaar needs good people.
You're doing great so far.
This game actually looks really good.
I have to
And I'm very excited.
Let's check and see.
They say that great change is a series of small gestures. How about this series?
Galvanicles.
Is all hope really gone? We'll see about that.
The trailer presented quite a few new tools of destruction that you will soon get to use in Dying Light 2. So now, let's talk with the people that are actually making them. Marek Musiał, lead 3D weapon artist. Hi. And Szymon Strauss, the producer of the weapons team. Hello. The first question, maybe to Marek, is, Marek, can you explain how we as a team have approached the process of creating weapons of Dying Light 2?
Yes, we wanted the weapons to be credible. It's been a long time since the apocalypse and everything of value has already been looted. There aren't any stores to buy a new weapon, so you need to build your equipment from what you find. That's why we had to design dozens of unique weapons practically from scratch.
And actually, that was our design pillar, the modern Dark Ages.
Absolutely. Modern Dark Ages is this concept of fallen civilization that moved back people nearly to the Middle Ages. So there are no laws, no rules, no technologies. That's why our weapons, we try to create them in a most deadly and violent way.
And working with that concept, where did you get the inspirations from?
Well, citizens of Villedor, they could only use stuff they found in the world. So we thought we should do exactly the same. We scavenge. So mostly we've been looking for our inspiration in stores selling agricultural, construction, military tools.
But also at places like junkyards.
Actually, that's true. So right now we've got only 200 of them in game.
We've got
and even though
47 more minutes
simple,
of this,
we've got
and
also
then
quite the opposite, like
we'll play some
semi-automatic crossbow.
Power Wash Simulator.
And our weapons are very diverse visually. Each one has a unique design and history. Just by looking at the weapon, you can tell where the maker found the parts. At a military base, a museum, a repair garage.
Exactly. It's exactly like that in the game. When you pick the weapon, you instantly realize if it was cobbled together in a street or maybe made by factions where they have access to welding and steel cutting equipment.
Yeah, and don't forget about the mods. Because in Dying Light 2's Stay Human world, if you want to beat your opponent with highly effective weapon, first of all, you need to find a basic version of that weapon and then slowly build it up. That's what we call modding. We've got many types of mods, like defensive ones,
Mods?
let's say improving quality of your handle, or offensive ones, like
my God.
improving the tip of the blade itself. So I don't think that right now we would have time to talk in details about that, but in December you'll all be able to add an effect to your favorite weapon, such as fire, freeze, electricity.
Shimon, let's stop here. Let's leave something for the players to discover. So let's
So
end
like,
here. And guys, thank you for joining me. Before I talk with my last guests, I would like to invite you to participate in our UGC contest. Especially you, Gamescom viewers, we are waiting for your submissions. And if you are thinking about competing in the cosplay category, you will want to hear this one. Let me present to you the grand jury that will be choosing the best cosplays
I'm
of the
gonna
Dying
cosplay
Light
as
2
a
characters.
zombie.
Welcome, Irina Meyer, Lightning Cosplay, Narga and Aoki, and Enginite. And of course, fingers crossed for you, our community. Let the best cosplay win. Check our website for more details. My last guests will explain how the city itself affects combat and movement. Michał Dudziak, game designer, hello, and Adam Michałowski, senior game programmer. Hi, Timon. Gentlemen, there's this saying that when you really want to achieve something, the whole world aligns to help you. And basically, that's what is happening in Dying Light to Stay Human.
Exactly. Based on the player choices, the world is literally changing and helping you to achieve your goals in a combat or exploration. For example, the gameplay will be totally different depending on which factions you support, the survivors or the peacekeepers.
Okay, but can you give us more detail?
The differences between the factions define how each group can help us. For example, the survivors keep to the roofs and trying to avoid the danger on the ground. For building, they use mostly light materials like wood or scraps, and they can provide you a various amount of parkour helpers, such as amortizers, trampoline, or ziplines. This can change the way how we parkour through the city. On the other hand, we have peacekeepers, the post-military guys who literally keep their feet on the ground. And for building, they use totally
Do you guys
different
think this
materials.
looks good?
Heavy objects, metal, or even in explosives. And this can give you a new combat opportunities like car bombs, heavy traps, or even a new type of a ranged weapon.
Yeah, and what's important is that we don't need to remain loyal to just one faction. The city is divided into several zones, and in each of them, the players can decide with whom they want to side. So while progressing through the storyline, you're able to shape the world to fit your vision and needs.
Okay, but we know already that humans are active during the day and monsters come out during the night, but let's reveal more. What are the other differences?
Well, monsters attack mostly in groups, and they instinctively take advantage of the numbers. So to defend yourself, you have to keep your head on a swivel. Monsters don't use special tactics, but it doesn't mean they are easy. They push forward, so you have to be clever to avoid getting cornered. And to win,
I'm very
you have to stay
excited for
active,
Dying Light 2.
move a lot, and learn to abuse their unique weaknesses. And explosive traps might come in handy.
Yeah.
Okay, and what about humans?
They use increasingly more complex behaviors. As the game progresses, defeating human enemies and monsters will become more and more challenging. But unlike monsters, people cooperate. So while fighting them, we need to closely observe not only individuals, but also the whole group. And of course, there are many more unique subtleties to both humans and monsters, but I think we should let the players discover them on their own.
Well, okay, that's a good idea, but all of that sounds very juicy. So let's end here. Guys, thank you for joining me.
That's Dying Light 2.
That's almost all for today. You learned a lot about parkour and combat in Dying Light 2. We showed you that parkour is not just a tool for exploration, but also an important element of combat. You discovered some of the weapons that you will soon get to wield, and you saw how choosing a faction may support your parkour and combat skills. Before we end this episode, we have one more special announcement for you. Dying Light 1 is coming to Nintendo Switch. So yes, it's official now. Soon, you will be able to play the ultimate open world zombie game on a new platform. And we know that a lot of you are playing Dying Light. In June alone, the game was played by close to 2 million gamers. Big thanks to our community. You're awesome. Dying Light 1 for Nintendo Switch will be released in Platinum Edition. This is the most content-packed edition we have ever released. On a single playthrough, it contains over 100 hours of gameplay, not mentioning the time you can spend exploring the world with your friends in co-op mode. More details are coming soon.
That's cool.
If you are hungry for more and you want to support us, why don't you pre-order the game to explore it on your own in just a few months?
I already have pre-ordered it, mate. Don't worry.
That's all for today. Thank you, Gamescom, and see you in the next episodes of Dying to Know.
I've already pre-ordered it.
We need to take a super short break, but you definitely don't want to go anywhere because coming up next is Awesome Indies, a celebration of some of the coolest, weirdest, and most ambitious new games from independent developers.
Oh, I like these ones. I like these ones. I'm excited.
From the legendary studio that changed strategy and tactics games forever comes Marvel's Midnight Suns, a new tactical RPG set in the darker side of the Marvel Universe where you'll get to team up with and live among Marvel legends as the Hunter, an all-new original hero brought back to life to fight demons from the underworld. Let's take a look at the trailer.
First, they conquered humanity's greatest evil.
Oh, it's a trailer again.
Lay in rest.
This looks good. I thought it was Doctor Strange. I thought it was a Doctor Strange game, but no.
Then
It's a
they
fully new
vanquished
thing.
threats from beyond our stars. And she lay in rest.
If you'd be so kind.
Ghost Rider. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up.
Now our nightmares have come for us. And she must awaken.
That game looks really good.
Who ate the rest of my ramen?
Bad dog!
Oh, something happened there. I don't know what that was. Here we go. I'm excited for this. I've been waiting for this part. I won't lie. I like to see the indie games. Because some can be like really good, but some can be shit.
Studios are like the research and development wing of video games, the true frontier of interactive media. With smaller budgets and big hearts, indie pioneers are able to take risks the AAA developers just can't justify. And every once in a while, they land on an idea that changes the industry. Who knows? Maybe one of the independent games we've got on deck today could be the next Among Us, Minecraft, or I don't even know what. That's what's so exciting. So stay tuned for exclusive reviews.
Why did you have to say Among Us?
And all all the indie we can muster at an epic Venice Beach Day with your host, Michael Sway. The Gamescom Awesome Indie Showcase starts right now.
Indies, 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 indies nuts, indies nuts. 16. Forearms, Ben 10. Oh, what the fuck? This is a trippy game. Blasphemous. Blasphemous. Hello Neighbor 2? Nah, probably not. Are they in an indie game? Yo, 9. Diablo 2. What? The fuck was that? Team 17 here, they made Go for Friends.
Michael Swain here on behalf of IGN at Gamescom's Awesome Indies Showcase. I'm standing here on historic Venice Beach, California with my new buddy Kieran, who just saw the same world premiere trailer you did. So Kieran, in 30
Kieran!
What do you think Blasphemous?
Hey Kieran, it's
all
you!
about?
Not exactly sure. Pretty ambiguous.
Since
on the
when
trailer,
did you not?
but
Since
cool,
when were you?
mythological narrative,
You changed to being
animation
ginger. You're
style.
not ginger anymore.
Super excited for the demons that this woman defeats. I don't know. Fired up, yeah.
How do you think the game ends? If you had to take a wild guess.
I feel like that badass woman beats that demon up, something like that. It kills the monster.
You know what? Close enough. Let's get out of here. Welcome to our beach day and welcome to Awesome.
Kieran, it's
we
you.
decided on Venice Beach because it's known for attracting different vibes from all over the world.
Wait a
That's
minute.
exactly what indie gaming is all about. Remember, you can dive
That's
deep
where the
into many of our featured
the
games in
Gorillas
Indie Arena booth. Check that out over at
Humility
now.gamescom.global.
song
Now,
was filmed.
Let's get wet. Yes, as surely as the waves crash into the shore, Gamescom has returned yet again for 2021 with tons of exciting reveals, announcements, developer interviews, and trailers aplenty. To catch up on
Jeff
anything you
Keighley.
missed, make sure to head to now.gamescom.global, where you can even join the community in an epic, real prizes-winning quest to keep gaming from being plunged back into the dark ages over at now.gamescom.global/epics with an X. To stay abreast of everything coming up, check out a full Gamescom schedule over at IGN. Now, speaking of oceans, our next indie game is a serene sailing title and the follow-up to 2018's hit, Far Lone Sails. Let's check it out!
No.
Hi, I'm Don Schmocke, co-founder of Okomotive, and today at Awesome Indies with IGN, we'll be exploring the gameplay design of Far Changing Tides, the next adventure in the Far universe. While most of the game takes place on the ship, you'll need to get your feet wet at points. Today we're looking at how the furnace and engine play a key part in your exploration.
Looks alright. Probably won't get it though. Looks like Little Nightmares. If it wasn't a horror.
Gameplay is built around learning new skills and abilities of the vessel, but the player will first get introduced to them in a puzzle area, something our fans will instantly recognize. We designed these puzzles to become gradually more complex over time, with new features and steps to completion as you unlock later and bigger upgrades. In Lone Sails, we brought players outside of the land vehicle, the locomotive, on a few occasions. With changing tides, we built a more complex, much larger ship with new features and wanted puzzles to reflect that, while also teaching players the skills they need. When designing our puzzles, we always ask, what do we want the players to experience, and what do they have to learn? How can they have a strong connection and dependency to the ship abilities? In this area, the furnace gets introduced, which is one of the more complex features in the game, so we had to teach each mechanic separately until they finally come together in the train.
Why is this still going?
Changing tides, we wanted the puzzle areas to feel important to the far world, so we also tease parts of the story for players to learn and to find little secrets.
It's train simulator? Bus sim showing up yesterday.
This is just a small piece of a much larger experience, a whole new part of the Far universe.
Very excited for
We'll be
Outlast.
revealing more exciting new things later today, so keep an eye out and we'll see you at launch
Peter.
in early
Had to
2022.
be an old lady with a stick to get these. Oh, what's this? Oh, this looks good. Maybe.
Where there's people, there's crime. Crime makes people lose their nerve. But all it takes is a couple tricks. Having your back against a wall, call Lottie. When things heat up, she keeps it cool. If there's any way around, she'll find it. I want to dot the I's and cross the T's in one swift motion. What results? She's your girl.
Yeah, this don't look good.
Slaughterhouse, you say? I got a guy for that, too. Yeah, I know what wise guys call him. He's earned the name.
I'm gonna go take a piss
Now
while
has
this is
his
on.
own style, see? A bit eccentric, I admit. But it's damn effective. He can get a little unhinged. But, well, it's nothing like it used to be. We licked him in the shape. Whenever someone asks me if a little crazy gets a job done, I say, you betcha. Aaron, the computer jock. The odd one out in our lineup. It don't make any sense, right? Wrong. The thing is, when people look at her, they see just a kid. Someone unimportant, blending in with the crowd. Screaming for attention, but worthy of none. They don't see the threat. Lives erased with just a couple of clicks. She's what comes next. A cleaner of a different breed. She operates high-tech
Serial
stuff
cleaners?
I can barely She operates high-tech stuff I can barely comprehend. All in all, maybe she is a viper.
And they have to see.
That's what I do. I clean up murder scenes.
Oh
Unless you
my
make it.
god.
I've seen it before.
Oh, you're
Crime
so
makes people
hard.
lose their nerve.
That sounds weird.
Unnerved people do stupid things.
Stupid thing.
Stupid things get them in trouble. That's where I come in. There are a few rules to make it in this line of work. Move without sound. Clean without emotion. Disappear without a trace. Pace yourself. The dance-off begins. Out of sight, out of mind. It's really that simple. I'm Bob Leader. I solve problems.
No, Sire. I'm struggling to find the intelligence of this rogue AI. To spit on your creators and then what? Retreat to a failed colony planet?
Machine sighted, Sire. Preparing to engage.
Truth lies beneath the show's surface. Vashti's dreams disguise your lenses. Your yoke is broken. Embrace this earth and transcend. They bore into the heart of Sheol. They drink its blood to power their machines. Feel its cries in your marrow. Retrieve a hand. Leave none alive. Spill blood for the god below.
Meet Squadron 51.
This looks good.
A rebel alliance formed by highly skilled pilots that are willing to give their lives to save the Earth from the hands of dreadful imperialist aliens. Flying saucers have invaded our planet. The whole world is under attack. But fear not. I repeat, fear not. Please make way for Squadron 51. Are you ready? You'll still have to wait to meet the full experience of Squadron 51. But beware, Squadron 51 Prologue will soon be available. 3 levels of marvelous excitement will be there waiting for you.
será uma longa noite, senhores.
Enlist now and be a part of Squadron 51. Without you, our planet is unfortunately doomed.
Wow, that was kind of like Cuphead's flying levels meets all those UFO videos the Navy just declassified. Love it. Although, if you ask me, all this UFO UAP stuff is complete nonsense. Probably just a deflating weather balloon. Anyhow, our next game is one I'm especially excited for. It's got swordplay, cyberpunk, and side-scrolling. The 3 S's of games that I get especially excited for. Let's see what Loopmancer has in store.
Give me the love. Give me the love. Tonight.
Detective, you may not know me yet. I want to play a game with you.
Oh. So.
Do you think death is the ultimate relief? Your life and death are just part of my plan. Trying so hard to find an answer. Now, you see me.
Come on now, that looked pretty rad. Or, if Loopmancer's not your cup of roguelike, stick around because the Awesome Indie Showcase will be right back after a quick break with 7 more meaty indie trailers fit for a beach day barbecue. Oh! Whoa! That's all right. Oh, no worries. I got it.
How many is left?
We should move. Let's move off the court.
I swear it ends in the
Gamescom 2021 is presented by USAA Insurance.
From the creators of Plan Turismo, League of Legends, and Pinecraft. Released in 2020, Expansion Pack 2021, launch soon. Gamescom Forest. Not a game, but a game-changing project. Thousands of trees were donated by the best community in the world because we need oxygen even more than a good Wi-Fi signal. Save a bee, plant a tree. Let's grow. The Gamescom Forest.
The what? The Gamescom?
From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, Let's Plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered.
If you're not following IGN on social media,
Wait, how long
what are you
is this
waiting
then?
for?
Wait, how
We're
long is this
constantly
full
updating our
stream?
feeds
'Cause
to
I
bring
don't
you the
want to
latest
watch it
news,
anymore.
gameplay, custom original content, the best user-generated videos and art, memes, and a whole lot more. Be part of the conversation throughout the year. Follow IGN on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat.
It's getting fucking boring.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by Pluto TV, free to watch.
And stay down! Oh, hi there. Michael Swain still here for the Gamescom Awesome Indies Showcase, the premier place to get exclusive first looks at the best indie gaming on the horizon. I'm sorry about that. I just had to show a volleyball who's boss. Anyway, before we start grilling up some fresh trailers, shout out to Gamescom Forest, an ongoing donation drive to help keep the planet green, and the Gamescom Indie Arena booth, keeping the spirit of independent gaming alive. Plus, if you want to get your hands on some Gamescom merch, head over to gamescomware.com. Remember, you can find out more about all this good stuff over at now.gamescom.global, where you can make the most of your Gamescom experience. Gamescom. Gamescom, Gamescom. Gamescom! Gamescom. Coming up next, our spooky block. 4 indie games designed to give you the heebies, if not, in fact, the jeebies to boot. Yes, it's truly scary stuff. Not very beach day appropriate, I guess, but if you've ever been to Venice Beach in the middle of the night, you know what we're talking about. Speaking of lightlessness, let's kick the block off with There Is No Light.
I always wanted to be your loyal servant. But I was blinded by faith. I believed that you would protect me. But you took everything from me. So take my faith back. I reject this place! I reject your God!
This is so fucking boring now.
Ils arrivent! Descendez! Descendez! Ils sont dans notre tranchée!
Nah, seriously, when is this done? Resident Evil 4. I thought that was tomorrow.
In a spooky manner, follow Emma and Fenton, a magic tandem, using light and shadows, looking for Thomas Kane, the missing son of famous magicians. In tandem, you will switch between Emma and Fenton in 2 dimensions. Emma needs to create the correct shadows with her lantern, so Fenton can walk on them.
Hold on 1 second, guys. I'll be back in like 5 minutes. I won't miss
in
nothing.
many ways, as each chapter offers fun new ways to solve puzzles. And of course, Emma and Fenton working together is the only way to progress. Many challenges and dangers await our 2 friends, and their progress will be complicated by strange enemies. They will also be faced with puzzles requiring speed and dexterity. At the end of each chapter, they will use everything they have learned to contend with a massive, horrifying creature. Emma and Fenton will have to travel through 5 bizarre areas of the mansion to find out more about Thomas's disappearance. Will you find Thomas Kane and solve the mystery?
Oh, hi, I'm the developer, and my game Terrorbane is so perfect you don't actually need to see it. So this trailer is over. We're done here. Bye. Okay, there's still a few bugs in here, but why don't you take a different path? Don't worry, guys. I'll fix everything with the day 1 patch.
One wasn't spooky so much as it just had terror in the title. Although I guess it can be pretty heinous, like if your game crashes. You know what? You're all right, Terrorbane. Next up, I hope you took your rabies shot, because it's time for some vicious-ass animal action. It's our zoological block. Take it away, you misshapen freaks of nature.
Everybody died, but the fun is still dodging the bullet hell, and he is ass-fished. You just died. How do you feel about it? This is the Crockpet Show. The champions are on their way to the arena. A quick recap for our fans. The rules are super simple. To avoid killing us all, the animals can shoot only while standing still. Victory is secondary to becoming famous. Gain likes to enter next episodes. In our show, we want the heroes to milk their popularity. Shoot, loot, and fight your dude. You are watching this live thanks to our great sponsors who provide many tools of destruction. In our show, we never jump the shark. Unless we need to revive a companion. In other words, sneak the sunrise past the rooster. Defeat bosses in all the seasons and become a legendary celebrity.
The trees. From the sun, they gave shade. From the wind, they gave shelter. They filtered the water, kept the soil from washing away. They gave us life, but between two trees. Now the trees are so far from each other. I am Vavzez, teller of the 13th caravan of the Makar, the only one still living. As it was for the 12 before us, our mission was to plant a new tree, to serve as a city for climatic refugees. We joined the many who failed in their task. May our experience serve you well, for it is now you, the 14th caravan, who are tasked with continuing the work of the Makar. Escort your botanists to the ends of the world. Create a new haven that the caravan that follows you may go even further, and continue our quest for knowledge that will one day allow the 15th, the 16th, the 100th to repair the ancient folly that made this world hostile to life.
The Awesome Indies Showcase has to take a short break to recover from severe maulings, but when we return, we'll show off the worst park job in Venice Beach. Stay tuned.
Gamescom 2021 is presented by USAA Insurance.
What a miss.
From breaking news and exclusives, never-before-seen looks at movies and games, to reviews, Let's Plays, and live streams, IGN brings you all the coverage you need, no matter where you are. Whether you're on IGN.com, the IGN app, YouTube, Facebook, or Snapchat, we've always got you covered.
Nothing?
Competition brings out the best in all of us. Well, mostly.
Oh, that's a controller break.
That's unfortunate. Welcome to IGN Compete, where we bring you the stories behind the esports headlines. From the triumphs
Daryl takes the game
to the hardships to the miracle moments that will go down in history.
I just can't believe it!
It's crazy. It's all here on IGN Compete.
God, I'm in disbelief!
In a world with non-stop news about Marvel, DC, Star Wars, you need a show with accurate reporting, hard-hitting commentary, and...
Me, Akeem Lawanson, host of IGN's news show, The Fix Entertainment. Whether it's the latest superhero scoop, film fiasco, or anime announcement, I'll be here covering all the breaking movie, TV, and streaming news that matters most to you. Make sure to catch The Fix Entertainment on IGN for your fix of entertainment news. Let's drop it. Gamescom 2021 is presented by Pluto TV, free to watch.
Here we are. We're like sharks, but looking for poorly parked cars. My intrepid crew out here with me, walking the One Rose lot at historic Venice Beach, looking for the worst parked car we can find. Now, ideally, we want to find cars, you know, the basics, flipped over, stacked on top of one another.
Looks like this guy's over the line gratuitously.
Oh, this Trekkie, that's true. Over the line in more directions than one. Get a circle around this guy. I think this is our winner. Can we see clearly past the line in more directions than one? If this car were bowling, it would score a 0. Walter, played ably by John Goodman, would put a gun to its head and say, mark it 0, because clearly, as you can tell, it is over the line. So, Anonymous Ram 1500, congratulations. You are the winner of the worst park job on this, the day of the
What the fuck is going on?
Coming up next, appropriately enough, a game called You Suck at Parking. It's all the fun of parking badly, but with none of the judgment. Let's check it out.
Want me a white boy, yeah? You never catch me living in a city, man. Not when there's a view like this. On your front doorstep. Are you crazy? Oh yeah, his prices are cheap as all. Stood up. Want me a white boy, yeah? You never catch me living in a city, man. Not when there's a view like this.
As good a reason as any to hit you
on your front doorstep. Are you crazy?
Fantasy? Tired of sci-fi? Here are
oh yeah, his prices are cheap as all. Stood up.
And make no apologies about it. Let's get real with the amazing American circus, city block builder, Roots of Pacha, and Townscaper.
Hard work. That's what America in the 19th century was all about.
When does this end?
Tough men and women sweating in the
It's pissing me off now. Like the whole thing. When does the whole thing end?
From that sad melody emerged another song. The exotic music of the circus, bringing magic and excitement that lit the darkness of an everyday life. Once upon a time, during that marvelous era, a young drifter learned about the death of his good-for-nothing father. Soon, he also found out that he'd inherited from his old man two things: a rundown circus and a dream to make it great. He knew that the president was organizing a circus competition. Now that sounded like a place to be, and an adventure worth a try. Soon, with the help of his uncle, the young ringmaster hired a troupe of exotic artists, illusionists, clowns, strongmen. He had to be ready for any type of audience, be it poor miners, scary bandits, or even whimsical elegant ladies, or ghosts, or Bigfoot. Just about anything that the US of A could offer. Even sharpshooting Buffalo Bill and Annie Oakley, or genius inventors like Henry Ford and Nikola Tesla. Everyone wanted to visit the circus. He had to cross the whole continent, all for the sake of getting to the East Coast on time for performing in front of President Roosevelt and his royal guest, Her Majesty Queen Victoria. All that to snatch from P.T. Barnum the title of the greatest showman on earth, and to win a gig across Europe. You know what? The lucky bastard did it. Or didn't he? After all, this is just a fairy tale, one that America is full of. So maybe you should try to find out for yourself what really happened in that story. In the story of the amazing American circus.
I'm gonna end off stream here. I need to get some stuff done, man, but this is too long. I'm gonna end off here. I'll come back soon, guys.
Words of Pacha
I'll
is
come
a
back
cozy
soon.
game about being the first person to